This nuclear variance is going to be on the NV4 Flatline, but in this video I'm not really going to talk much about the NV4 because it's a very generic weapon that I feel like a lot of people, if you have experience in Infinite Warfare, you already know what the NV4 is and you know what its strengths and weaknesses are. So instead I'm going to talk about what I did right in this gameplay. And what I did right in this gameplay is that I always had a position of advantage pretty much. If you watch this entire gameplay and you count how many times I took a battle where I didn't have cover or a flank, I feel like it'd be very slim. Very few fights in this gameplay are 50-50s. Pretty much every fight I get into, I either have a large piece of cover or I'm flanking. Like, the enemies generally have my upper torso and up to shoot at, while I have their entire body. So I have a much larger target to shoot at, I have more things to shoot at, so I'm more likely to kill them, whereas I'm keeping myself safe from I'm keeping most of my body safe by putting cover in between me and the enemy. And this is a very easy map to do that on because just basically a lot of the gameplay is centered around either the rocket side or this like bridge side area. So it's very easy to do that on this gameplay. There's a lot of, or on this map rather, there's a lot of good cover pieces on this map. And then if I don't have cover, I'm generally flanking, which I have a decent time advantage on them. It's very unlikely they'll turn on me, especially when the time to kill is very high like it is in Infinite Warfare. So if you want to get a nuke, don't try to get flashy aim, don't try to have like an insane reaction time. Play smart and make good decisions. Use cover, use flanks, be behind the enemy, have superior cover like advantage versus the enemy, and that's how you're going to get a nuke. By approaching your battles intelligently, consistently, you're going to win more of them rather than just relying on aim or relying on having the better weapon. Those things there's a lot of coin flips, and you want to minimize how many coin flips are occurring because that's random, and maximize how many fights are just guaranteed in your favor. There's no reason to take unnecessary risks unless you're running out of time, but in general you're not going to be that stretched for time, I feel. Or I feel like I'm not often stretched for time, so I'm able to make good decisions and get my nuke that way. I'm not really rushed, I don't really have to do bad things, I can just make good decisions consistently and get it that way. I really want you all to pay attention to the gameplay in this video, because it is nothing special, just like my previous video I made. It's nothing special, I'm just flanking or using cover, and that's how I get my kills. The NV4 is a very easy weapon to use, and you stack that with the playstyle I'm employing, where I generally have the advantage in these fights, and like, how do I not get a nuke? It's very simple, it's very easy, and anyone could do this as long as you're calm under pressure and you make good decisions. Now that we got that out of the way, like I said, I really want you all to pay attention to this gameplay, and let's make a mental note of how many fights I get into where I don't have an advantage, because it's very few. My class setup for this weapon was quickdraw, stock, and silencer. You want to stay off the minimap with silencer, and then quickdraw and stock just allow you to react to your enemies faster. Strafing and gunfights will help you be a harder target to hit, and it also, I like aiming with my left stick by moving my character to line up my iron sights with them and then shoot that way. And then quick draw just lets me ADS faster, which makes you more reactionary and less likely to get punished for getting caught off guard, which doesn't happen to me very much in this gameplay. My perks are Ghost, Blind Eye, and Scavenger. Scavenger is pretty simple, you want more ammo. Ghost, you want to stay off the minimap, stack that with a silencer, really never exposed. Blind Eye I really like using when going for nukes, especially with a weapon like the NV4 that I really don't need many attachments on. It's already good the way it is, so I just use very few attachments on this weapon, and I can put on Blind Eye, and then I don't have to worry about vultures, I don't have to worry about micro turrets, I don't have to worry about wardens, I don't have to worry about a lot of things, and that just allows me to focus on the gameplay and focus on positioning myself well and having a position of advantage in my gunfights. I also have a Hornet secondary because in fights that are up close, I really don't like having the NV4 for those fights, because of how weak it is, and it has a lower fire rate than many guns in this game. A lot of guns shoots faster than it, and up close fire rate really matters. And then on top of that, it doesn't have a 3-hit range. At its best, it's a 4-hit. So there's a lot of things that will outclass it up close, so I'll switch to the Hornet and get those kills to keep me alive. And if you're in appropriate prestige, the kills with the Hornet will contribute to getting your deatomizer strike. The deatomizer strike isn't 25 kills with a specific nuclear variant. It's 25 kills with any nuclear variant within that life. So if you're a high enough prestige to where the Hornet can earn you deatomizer strikes, the Hornet is actually going to count towards your deatomizers. And it's not like they're keeping separate tallies. If you have, for say, 15 NV4 kills and 10 Hornet kills somehow, that's going to be a deatomizer strike if you're a high enough prestige to be able to get deatomizers with the Hornet. It's just any nuclear variant that you get kills with in that life contribute to the 25. It's not a specific variant. That may be obvious to some people, but that actually caught me off guard. I had noticed it randomly when I was playing once. And yeah, so if you're a high enough prestige to where the Hornet contributes to nukes, it will help you get your nuke. And like my previous nuclear variants, I think I've already said this, but like my previous nuclear variants video, there's nothing in this gameplay that's flashy. And I think that's really good, and it's really helpful for you all to learn from, especially if you're someone who doesn't have good aim or reaction time. Because I feel like this video really shows that it's not all about aim or reaction time. It's about making good decisions. And if you make good enough decisions to where you've won the fight before it even occurs, like the odds are so much in your favor that it's very likely you'll win it, like you would have to just like not play in order to lose that fight, then you're going to win those fights regardless of how bad your aim is. And that's what I do in this gameplay. My aim isn't amazing in this. I do have pretty good aim, but in this gameplay it's nothing amazing. I'm missing shots, but it's okay because I have good cover and I'm flanking consistently and I'm reading the game well. That's what you want to do. Just make good decisions consistently. Use cover, use flanks, just get as much percentage of the gunfight in your favor before it even starts, and you're going to win that gunfight. That's going to do it for this video. It's pretty short and simple, but I feel like many of you already know the NV4 because it's the most basic and one of the most overused weapons in Infinite Warfare, so I don't really want to talk to you all about what the NV4 strengths and weaknesses are. Because pretty much everybody already knows that, and if you don't, its strengths are low recoil and a moderate, like good damage and consistent damage over range. It's 4 to 5 hit, but it has a low fire rate, but it also has very low recoil. And then that's basically it. It's a low recoil weapon with very good damage over range, and then its weakness is that it shoots kind of slow and it doesn't have a 3-hit range. So in close range, it's definitely going to lose out to some things. And if theoretically the K-bar is better if you're a better K-bar shot, but the NV4 is just a very easy weapon to use. So like I said, that's it for this video. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below which nuclear variant you would like to see next.